Shabbat Shalom, everybody, and you are welcome to the Shabbat of this morning. This Shabbat, today's Shabbat is also known as Shabbat Zahor, which means the Shabbat of remembrance, as I just explained. And God is telling us that we shall remember Amalek. What Amalek did to you, you shall remember, and you shall not forget. It is a mitzvah, it is a command. You shall not forget. Right? So, because people will tell you, or people can tell us, forgive and forget. Forgive and forget will bring the ego back again. Because if you don't remember, if you don't have the memory of what happened before, then you're going to be in trouble. Then God is telling us, yes, you can forgive, you may forgive, but you shall not forget the actions of the enemy. We always say in Israel, we say, never again. There is a memorial in Israel for the victim of the Second World War. The people that died, they say, it's written there, never again. It's a memorial, never again. But it's happening again now. Because people, they forget. They begin to do the evil again. They begin to, you see what is happening in Europe all over the world, war again. But God is telling us, we have to keep it in our memory. The elite, right? The rich people, they want to erase our memory. They want to take away the Torah from our mind. They want to make us like a what? Like a zombie. Now we are not a zombie. We have in our DNA the Torah. And the Torah will never depart. No matter what they do, no, we follow the tree of life. For the Torah is the tree of life. The subtitle of this morning, Parashah, is called The Eternal Light. I subtitled the Parashah of this morning, The Eternal Light. Who is the eternal light? Or what is the eternal light? In the book of Exodus, chapter 27, verse 20, in the book of Shemot, chapter 27, verse 20, it said, they shall take for you pure pressed olive for illumination, to kindle the lamp continually. The rabbis do remind us of the eternal light burning ever so brightly in our midst. It reminds us that however far we travel into the night, the light will always be on, guiding us home. The Torah of God is a lamp. As it said, in God's light we do see light. I repeat again, our rabbis, they give us the understanding that the eternal light is burning continuously in our midst. In the Mishkan, we have what is called eternal light. And you see the lamp on top is a symbol of eternal light. That light will continue to burn, it never stops. It's like a presence, the presence of God. And we're going to see what is the difference between a light and a fire. They are not the same thing. Two of them are different. Fire is different from light. Fire and light are not the same thing, but they are like what? Brothers and sisters. They're like twins. They're like two brothers. They are intertwined. Okay? Just as darkness and light is intertwined. From the Torah, you understood that light came from where? Came from darkness. And the world was dark, right? There was no light, there was nothing. Everything was completely darkness. And the Lord God said, let there be light. And the light came. So the light came from darkness. So then the question now is, what then is the Mishkan? What then is the Mishkan? Why do we need the Mishkan? Remember, I told us last week that technically we don't need the Mishkan because God is in our midst. God took us from Egypt. God divided the Red Sea. God provided everything, the water, everything that we need. God gave us the 10 words, right? So why do we need the Mishkan? Remember last week, and I said, the Mishkan is a meeting point. It's a meeting point where God will meet with man. The Mishkan is like a place of relationship. It is not a place of religion. For God does not believe in religion, and God never gave anybody a religion. Man made religion. God gave us relationship. That we should have relationship with Him. That is the first one. And the second one that I said that it is like the Mishkan is a remedy for what is to come. I gave us two interpretations. One, a place to meet, a place of meeting. Second, a remedy for the sin that is to come. Because if you are injured, you need a medication to heal you. And now God is giving us the medication be ahead of time because He knows that we are going to be sick. God prepared the medication to give to us. So the Mishkan also acts, or is also acting as a medication for our sin. Now, what we are going to talk about, the third kind of interpretation, is this today is making what is unclean to make it clean. The process. Mishkan is making something that is unclean to make it clean. That is what we are going to talk about this morning. According to that view, the making and the worshipping of the golden calf led God to understand how hard it was for the Israelites, newly free from Egypt, to comprehend a totally abstract God, a God with no form or visible presence. At first, the fasting of Moshe Rabbenu as an incarnation of God. Then, when Moshe disappeared up in the mountain for 6 weeks, they fashioned the calf to represent the divine presence. It's not surprising for people who are just grown up, who has grown up in Egypt. And this is what I am saying here, right? When they fashioned the golden calf, when they built the golden calf, right? What happened? Remember that these are the people that just came out from where? From Egypt. And they've lived how many years in Egypt? Hundreds of years. 400 years. So they are just like they are just like the Egyptians. They know all the gods. They worship all the gods of Egypt. So, as our sage said, it is easy for God to bring Israel out of Egypt. But it is not easy for God to take Egypt out of Israel. Because the people they have the intestine of the Egyptian. They have the understanding of the Egyptian. Everything they do like the Egyptians. Because they've been assimilated into the society of the Egyptians. So now it is hard for these people to relate to God that is unseen. Remember, our God is unseen. You can't see our God. The eternal God is energy. You cannot see Him. His power. So now these people that came from Egypt, that lived in Egypt for 400 and something years, they've seen all the gods, all the design, everything of those things in Egypt. So they need something like that. They cannot, in their mind, they cannot phantom in their mind that there is a God that cannot be seen. It is to them, it is completely abstract. It doesn't even make sense. Because they see how the Egyptians worship their God. Right? Oh, they see the image, they bow down, they worship, they do everything, right? But how come our own is different? We have a God that we cannot see. No. That is not right in their mind. Okay. So, initially, the people, they took Moshe as a God. Remember, to them, Moshe is everything. Moshe. Everything is Moshe. To them, Moshe is like God. If there is no Moshe, then there is no God. Because that is how they associate Moshe with God. To them, oh, Moshe is a servant of God. He's God himself. Whatever he do, he do a kind of miracles, everything. Oh, wonderful. And now Moshe has went on the mountain. Now 6 weeks. Where is the man? Where is this man? Where is the God? He disappeared. And now we need another one that can lead us in the way. That is the interpretation. Okay? But don't forget that in the 21st century, in this our world, in this present time, right? The people are not much better. We are the same. If that is over 3,000 years ago, we complain, oh, the people are like that, the people are la 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 la. But are we different? No. We are still the same human being. We are still the same children of Adam. The same, no different. 3,000 years after the golden calf was destroyed and the Mishkan constructed, we still struggle with the idea of an abstract, formless deity. Right? We still struggle with this idea of God that is not seen. How is this possible? You see, we can see some religion. They gave us what? Some religion gave their follower God incarnated as a human being in the human form. Right? Because they cannot relate to a God that is unseen. They do what? Because it's very hard for them to do what? To relate to. Or a God that is not seen. How can I pray to a God I cannot see? Right? Despite the problems caused by God being incarnated as a man, because they say God is incarnated as a man. So why not God incarnated as a woman? Why a man? Right? Now they even go further. Right? They said God is a Caucasian. God is a white man. God has a blue eyes. Why not brown eyes? Why not green eyes? You know, oh, God is a white man. Why can't God be African man? Why can't God be from Mexico? Why can't God be a Chinese man? Why a God is a European? It doesn't make sense, no? So that is it. Oh, yeah, this God has a long hair like a woman. Oh, so beautiful, you know. And this God is a young man. You know, it's not, why not an old man? It should be old man, no? Because it's a God, it should be very, very old. Why is it young, nice, beautiful man? You know? This is all nonsense. It is, you see, the idea is the people, to satisfy their need for a visible God. People, they want to satisfy their need for a visible God that they can see. But God is invisible. You cannot see God. God is invisible. People resort, so the answer now for the purpose of the Mishkan is to satisfy their need for a visible reassurance of God. That is, to satisfy the need of the Israelites, right? For reassurance, because they're like babies, you know, babies, children, they need reassurance from their mama. You know, when the baby cries, the mama take the baby, you know, do like this, and the baby, and he sleep. And if the mama come and put the baby down, they will, that woman still came up and pick it up again, and you know, and because the baby doesn't want to be put down. The mama want to always feed the heart of the mama, because the heart of the mama beat, and they hear that because the baby are used to the heart from the womb. They feed the mama's heart, boom, boom, boom. So they love the mama's heart. It calms them down. You know, so the Israelites are like that. They are young babies. So they need the assurance of God that they want to see God. They want to be seeing the presence of God every time in their midst. So because of that, God asked Moshe to do what? To construct the Mishkan. The Mishkan, or they call it the tabernacle. That I might dwell in their midst. That's what God said, that I might dwell in their midst. The Mishkan was a tent-like structure and contained the ark, the showbread table, the lamp that stimulate the presence, and a near tamid and eternal light hanging in front of the tent to indicate that the divine resident of the Mishkan was born. This is the meaning of the eternal light. The meaning of this light is to show that the divine resident, that the holy resident of the Mishkan is home. You remember, if you are home, what do? You turn on your light. Yeah, people have somebody's at home. But if you are not home, you off your light. Right? Nobody's home. So when you are home, you on your light. Somebody's at home. You know, mama is at home, brothers, everybody's at home. So that is what it represents. The eternal life represents that God is in their midst. God is home, and God is in the Mishkan. He said, I repeat again, Exodus chapter 27, verse 20. They shall make for you pure oil, or they shall take for you pure oil, pressed olive for illumination, to kindle the lamp continuously. The first mitzvah, or the concretization of the Spirit, the Mishkan, is to make sure that a light rises within it. Light is one of the images of the choice for the Spirit and for the intellect. But this will have to be placed, but this will have to be a place for fire as well as light. So what I'm saying now is the light, the eternal life is a symbol, and this symbol is the symbol of the Spirit. Remember that we have what do you call it? Was it four kinds of elements, right? We have the fire, we have the air, we have the water, and we have the earth, right? That is the four elements that we have, right? So this element, I mean, in those days, so this the fire, the natives, the Indians, they said that the fire represent what? You can tell me. They say represent a soul. A soul. That's, to them, fire meaning a soul. So how does an Indian, a native Indian, in North America or in South America that have never read the Torah, understood that fire is a soul? Because that is what the Torah said. That is what our sages said. Our sages said that the fire represents a soul, a neshama, a ruach. That's the meaning of fire. And these men, these people, we call them, these are barbaric people. They are bush people. They are from the jungle. You know, they don't have knowledge, and they know that fire is a soul. Are we not the one who is dumb? We are the one that is stupid, because these people, they understand very well what the nation is saying. They knew from their heart, they knew from their understanding, they knew from the divine spirit that yes, a fire is a what? It's a neshama. A fire is a soul. It's an energy. Near in Hebrew, which is lamp, is also an acronym for what? For neshama and ruach. These two complementary quantity of the soulfulness, these two are combined. The neshama and the ruach are combined, right? You remember last week I was explaining to us this one. As I said, just before I continue, I'm giving us a Zohar understanding of this of the word fire. I want us to understand it, okay? Because it's not every time that we're going to be eating the liquid. Now we're going to eat the meat, okay? So this is what Zohar is giving us understanding, and this is Zohar understanding, which I want us to grasp. Once you grasp it, you understand it, you can be able to do what manipulate it in your mind. You know how to rearrange them all, because once you understand things, you know how to do what. You can put it this way, you can put it this way, you can manipulate it the way you want. Okay? So the lamp and these two things are this ruach and this neshama are what? Are two things which is for what? Which is known as balancing. God has to balance things. Remember, God is a mathematician. God is a scientist, and things has to be balanced. Neshama and ruach. This is the feminine and the masculine. This is the human and the godly. The human and the godly. Man and God and godly. This is left and right. This is the intuitive and the rational. This is you. This is me. This is the spiritual and the materials. This is the light and this is the darkness. All intertwined in one. Okay? Aaron and his son shall arrange it from evening until the morning, said in the book of Exodus, chapter 27, verse 21. That Aaron is a daily what? Daily activities. That Aaron shall clean it, put the fire back, and the fire continue to burn. The fire cannot be extinguished. The eternal light cannot be extinguished. In the morning, from the evening, remember that in Hebrew, a new day starts from the evening, right? From the evening to the next evening, they clean it, and another one, and they continue. It never stops. Okay? So, let's see what is this about. Because in the Zohar also gives us another understanding that there is energy, there are spirits that their age is just only 24 hours. They only last for 24 hours. There are spirits, there are energy that only last for only 24 hours. They can't go beyond 24 hours. They are born now in the next 24 hours, they are destroyed, and another one is made again. Just like that, continuously, never stop, never stop, never stop. Renew every day. This energy are renewed every day. The life of the spirit is a daily notion. They are renewed every day. For 24 hours, they are what? Renewed. Fire, they are fired up in the Mishkan. They fire them up in the Mishkan every month. What is about light and fire that have made them such compellingly effective symbols of God for 3,000 years? For one thing, light itself is invisible, but it makes other things visible. We cannot see light, but light enables us to see each other. This is what I'm saying. What is it in light that makes it a symbol of God? What is it in light that makes it a symbol of God? Right? For over 3,000 years, we consider God as light. Right? So, the issue now is one thing. Light is invincible. You cannot see light. Do you know that? Light is invincible. No, you can't see light. We cannot see light. You see fire. Fire is not light. But in fire is light. Light itself you cannot see. It's invincible. But this light makes us to see other things. The light makes us to see, but we cannot see it. Is that not interesting? Very interesting, right? Very strange, eh? Very interesting. So, light enables us to see the beauty of creation. You say, oh, this is the sun. Yeah? The big sun. I mean the sun. The light from it, we cannot see it. But this sun makes us to see everything. Make me to see you. I can see you. You can see me. We can see the beauty of nature. We can see the tree. We can see the water. We can see everything. But light itself, we can see it. It's invisible. The same thing here. We cannot. So this is what God is saying. God, we cannot see God. But God enables us to see everything. We cannot see God. But God enables us to see everything. We cannot understand light, the way it acts, its actions. But we can understand what we see from the light. We cannot understand light, even though the quantum physicists, the physicists who study light, the quantum physicists, the scientists that study light, are baffled with this. They can't understand it themselves. They tell us, they say that sometimes light acts like a wave. Right? And sometimes a wave. Right? And sometimes light acts as a particle. It's a particle, like an atom. Sometimes it's like a wave, and sometimes it's an atom. They themselves, they don't understand what is going on. Okay? Light is what we call sui generis in Latin. It's sui generis, which means it's very unique. Light is unique. It's special. It defines the conventional law of physics. Physics can't even comprehend it. Physics cannot understand it because light is special. But we all can benefit from the light even without understanding it. Even though we don't understand light, we all benefit from it. Because from the light, we have the water. If there is no sun, there will be no liquid water. Everything will be frozen, right? We benefit from it. If there is no sun, there will be no grass. If there is no sun, there will be no trees. You know, because it is the sun that makes the trees to grow, and they do their photosynthesis, and they can give us oxygen, give us all kinds of things. So it is the light that does all these things. Even though we don't see it, but we benefit from its effect, right? So too can we benefit from what God does without understanding what God is. We also benefit from the actions of God without understanding what God is. The Hebrew understanding of God, I will tell us now. I've been trying to communicate, to tell us understanding. The Hebrew understanding of God is this. The Hebrew understanding of God has never been about the nature of God. It's not about the nature of God. Our understanding is not about the nature of God. Who is God? It's not about that. No. The Hebrew understanding of God is about the will of God. The will of God. The Hebrew understanding of God is about the will of God. Not what God is. Not what God is. It's about the will of God. It's not about what God is. But what God demands of us. That is the Hebrew understanding of God. The Hebrew understanding of God is about the will of God and what God demands from us. And it's all same, or it's all in one thing. All the thing that God demands from man is in one thing. In morality. To be moral. That is it. Morality is the key. And we can see from generation to generation, from our history as a man, the destruction of our civilization is all about immorality. When man becomes immoral, then destruction of that civilization is at hand. God is not about who God is. No. It's about the will of God. That is our understanding of God. That man has to be moral. Man has to understand that morality and God is intertwined, is one. We cannot begin to be acting like an animal. Even though animals doesn't act like a man. Animals, they don't act like us. Because animals, they follow the instruction that God has given them. But we, as a human being, we don't follow the instruction that God has given us. What is true of light is equally true of fire. What is true of light is equally true of fire. Remember I said light and fire is not the same, but they are intertwined. What is true of one is true of the other. As a symbol of God, okay, fire is not an object. Fire is not an object. No. Tree is an object. Right? Candle, this is an object. Right? But fire is not an object. Okay? Fire is a process. The process of liberating the energy concealed in the what? In the candle or in the wood. Fire is a process of releasing energy. of releasing energy that is stored in the candle, or that is stored in the wood, or that is stored in the coal. You know the coal, the stone, the coal, the black coal. You know, a fire is a process of releasing those energy that is stored inside those objects. And God is not an object. Our God is not an object. It's not an entity for you to be seen. No, it's not. God is not an object. It's not a physical being. God is an energy. That it's not an object that you can be located in a specific place. No. God is a process. It's a process of liberating the potential energy that is in you. Okay? The energy that's in you. The process of bringing it out. The potential energy of compassion. The potential energy of mercy. The potential energy of grace. The potential energy of love. The potential energy of faith. All this is a process of liberating them, bringing them out in you, and giving them to the world. The potential energy of goodness in each and every one of us. That is God. If we don't have this, the Torah said, you might have everything, and you don't have love. You are nobody. It's zero. So we have to understand what God is. That is God. God is not an object. God is not something that you mold. No. It's a process of releasing the energy, of doing positive things, of doing what is good. Positivity is what God is talking about. Doing what is right, what is just. Doing justice, as God said, you shall not forget. That is justice. These people did not fear God. They went, the Amalek, I'm talking about. Amalek did not fear God, and he went to go and kill the weak one. When you are weak, a defenseless man, you are killing a man that has no defense. That is wickedness. A man that has no defense, a man that cannot defend himself, and you are killing him, or you are killing her, or you are killing them. That is wrong. A man that you know that he cannot match you. You both of you cannot match yourself. You know that he's very, very weak. He's sick, and you went and kill him. That is wickedness. And God is saying, for that action, because he does not fear God, he does not say, oh, that is God. And he killed them when they were weak, when they were weary. Amalek has to be wiped out on the surface of the earth. That is the only place in the Torah that God commands that the man, the woman, the children, the unborn to be killed. Can you imagine that? It's a very terrible thing. In the Torah, God will say, kill the men, take the women, take them home, can marry them, they can be your slave, they can do any other thing, right? But in this case, God is saying, you kill the women too. You kill the children. And you kill the one in the belly, you take it away and you kill it. Can you see how horrible the sin of Amalek has been? It's a horrible sin that you did not fear God and you kill the weak ones. God is a God that defends the weak. God defends the widows. God defends the fatherless, the motherless. See, that is God in his action. God doesn't want us to be barbaric as Amalek. God is saying, don't forget, you will go back and repay them for their sin. That is justice. That is God of justice. And God is telling us, I am not an object. I am not an object. I am not a human being. I don't have blood. I don't have bone. Right? I am not reincarnated in any human being. Right? That is what God is telling us. It's a process. Torah is here to give us life. Torah is here to give us life. Torah is a tree of life. To those that believe in it, to those who trust it, to those who want to eat of the fruit and live. Torah is life. Parashah Tetzaveh, the eternal light. The light represents the eternal presence of the Holy One, blessed be He, right, in our midst. Shabbat Shalom.